Hey guys, Vegito here, and welcome back to the Potara podcast. And today, we're heading back to Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex with the third part of our first 5 Nights at Freddy's story, titled, What If Roxy Helped Gregory Instead? Also, if you like the content and potentially want to see other FNAF stories, be sure to subscribe, since it's free, and if you feel the content is no longer for you, you can always unsubscribe. Also, you can support the channel by joining the Patreon for just $3 a month, which will let you get early access to all of my content and shoutouts at the end of every video. Now with that said, let's get started. We resume our tale right where we left off, as Gregory finds Roxy in a damaged state, barely being able to move, as the animatronic wolf says, "There you are. I was so worried. I waited and waited for you. I missed the hourly recharge and have been trying to get down the parts in service. I think something is wrong." Roxy then explains that parts in service is down under the main stage, and that normally the stage lift takes her down there after every concert, with it being the only way that she knows how to get there. Roxy then tells Gregory to use the door behind her, as it'll help him be able to get to the rehearsal room on the other side of the building. He should be able to find the backstage pass and find the lift controls if he can. After saying this, Roxy then says, "Good luck, Rockstar." Entering rest mode. Gregory then says that he'll do his best, as the brown-haired boy sees the door Roxy was talking about, and sees a flashlight recharging station next to it. Gregory then decided to stick his flashlight in it, allowing him to recharge his light, which will definitely aid him on his journey across the building to the rehearsal room. Gregory then heads through the door, with the brown-haired boy noticing a bunch of forklifts and other equipment. Eventually, Gregory manages to make his way through the area as he finds a massive storage area. Gregory then decides to take a second to note his surroundings as he sees Freddy patrolling the area with quite a few security bots. Gregory then sees a hallway that could possibly lead to the rehearsal room Roxy was talking about, although he sees that Freddy's currently patrolling the area, so he should try to do something to distract him so he can get to the hallway. Some time passes as Gregory walks through the area towards the hallway, but he is grabbed by a security bot, as the bot sounds the alarm for Freddy to find him, as Gregory tries looking for a spot to hide, with the brown-haired boy managing to hide behind a stack of heavy boxes. Gregory then uses his Fazwatch to check the cameras to see if the coast is clear, which luckily for him it is, as Gregory decides to leave the comfort of his makeshift hiding spot and arrives at the hallway that he pointed out earlier. Gregory then decides to make his way through it as he manages to go through the hallway, managing to avoid any security bots and Freddy, although this isn't for much longer, as Gregory is grabbed by another security bot, as Freddy starts chasing him again. But luckily for Gregory, he manages to arrive at the exit of the hallway, going through it and arriving at the rehearsal room, with the brown-haired boy saying, "Roxy said I could find a backstage pass around here somewhere." Gregory then decides to search every nook and cranny of the rehearsal room to look for a backstage pass, as Gregory heads into a closet in the area, finding another prize box, as the brown-haired boy decides to open it, thinking he's managed to find a backstage pass, although he ends up finding a battery upgrade for his flashlight. For seeing this, Gregory is a bit bummed they didn't find a backstage pass, but he thinks that this upgrade for his flashlight should help. Afterwards, Gregory gets back on the search for the backstage pass, with Gregory eventually finding another prize box, as Gregory decides to open it up, managing to find the coveted backstage pass, saying, "Got it! Now I should be able to find the lift controls." Afterwards, the brown-haired boy decides to exit the backstage area, knowing there isn't much else for him here at the moment, as Gregory navigates the area, finding his way back to Rockstar R, the place where his adventure with Roxy began. Gregory then finds a door with a label next to it, reading "to stage controls," as Gregory thinks that this must be where the lift controls are. Gregory then heads into the area, climbing the stairs, and finds an area with 2 doors, one with a guitar and the other with a bass guitar. As Gregory enters one of the doors, seeing a layout similar to a security office, with the brown-haired boy seeing this and thinking, if this is supposed to be a security office as well, then I may be able to find a security badge and the lift controls in one fell swoop. Gregory then decides to look around the area as he sees a familiar sight. A Freddy Fazbear head with a security hat on it, as Gregory opens it up and finds another security badge, giving him level 3 clearance. But just then, a familiar alarm sounds, with Gregory also finding an odd disc. After finding these items, Gregory then hears a familiar voice, as it's revealed to be Roxy talking to Gregory on the monitor, saying, "Gregory? What did you do? Something happened. I can communicate again. I think you fixed my signal. Thank you." Gregory then says that he can see her on the monitor before asking his friend how she's standing, with the animatronic wolf saying, "Consider it a second wind." Gregory then tells Roxy that he can see Freddy and Monty on the cameras, as Roxy says not to let them in, as the security doors are equipped with electrical deterrents, as the shocks should stun them if they're banging on the doors. After explaining this, Roxy then asks Gregory, "Do you see the large vent on the floor? You're probably standing right on top of it. If I can reach the room under you, I should be able to force it open and let you out." Roxy then sees that all the doors are on lockdown, as the wolf tells Gregory to look for her on the monitors and hit the corresponding button if he sees her waving. But just then, the rabbit lady appears on the monitor saying, "There you are. See you soon." As Roxy then says, "Hurry, Gregory! I cannot stop her!" Gregory then hears Roxy on a nearby monitor saying to open the door, as Gregory does as told. A few minutes pass, with Gregory repeating the sequence of running to the monitors to open doors for Roxy, while also stopping Freddy and Monty from banging on the doors with the electrical deterrents. As Gregory hears Roxy's voice coming from the vent, telling him to jump down. Gregory does as told before the rabbit lady gets a chance to grab him, with Gregory happy that Roxy saved him, although he tells the wolf that he wasn't able to find any lift controls, but he was able to find an odd disc. Roxy then asks the boy to let her see the disc, as Roxy says that it's a performance disc, and playing it should activate the lift down to parts and service. After this, Gregory follows Roxy through a hallway leading back to the atrium, as the two arrive on the main stage, with Roxy saying, "Gregory, my systems are failing. Go to the sound booth on the 3rd floor balcony. Run the performance program on that disc, and then meet me back on the stage. Please hurry. You do not have much time. It is almost the end of the hour. I will wait here." As Gregory sees that Monty is operating a searchlight while an army of security bots are patrolling on the ground, meaning he will have to do his best to avoid them, and more importantly, the searchlight, as it may draw the other 3 animatronics to his location. After thinking about this, Gregory decides to navigate the 1st floor of the atrium very carefully as to avoid the searchlight and any security bots, with Gregory managing to arrive on the 2nd floor without being spotted. As soon as Gregory arrives on the 2nd floor, he sees more security bots, this time patrolling with Freddy, and so Gregory decides to use his environment to his advantage by using nearby kiddie rides as distraction tools, distracting Freddy long enough to allow Gregory to bolt towards the 3rd floor escalator. Gregory finally arrives on the 3rd floor as he sees Chica patrolling the area, as Gregory decides to stealthily approach the sound booth, with the brown-haired boy managing to arrive at the sound booth and play the performance disc as a song by the Glamrock band starts playing. Gregory, seeing this, His notes that the lift controls must be activated, but he should hurry back to the stage. A few minutes pass as Gregory manages to arrive on the stage, managing to avoid Glamrock Chica on the second floor, in addition to Freddy and Monty on the first, as the brown-haired boy presses the button, activating the lift to take him and Roxy down to parts and service. But just then, the lights go out as Gregory sees the daycare attendant, with the brown-haired boy pointing him out to Roxy. Roxy then tells Gregory to hurry to the recharge station, with the brown-haired boy doing as told, arriving at the recharge station and getting inside, as Roxy collapses right behind him, with the daycare attendant appearing and grabbing the wolf by her legs and dragging her into parts and service. Gregory then exits the recharge station and tries to open the door to parts and service, but he discovers he needs level 4 security clearance to get in. After this, Gregory then decides to try and communicate to Roxy on his Fazwatch, but the wolf doesn't respond. Gregory then thinks to himself that if he wants to get into parts and service, he'll need another security badge. Gregory then decides to explore the area outside parts and service, as he's grabbed by the map bot from earlier, being handed another map of the utility hallway. As Gregory heads into the utility hallway, finding a hostile animatronic without any casing on, Gregory tries figuring out a way past it as he decides to hide, with the mysterious animatronic moving forward, as Gregory figures out that this animatronic only moves when he isn't directly looking at it. Gregory decides to use this to his advantage, hiding until the animatronic is out of sight, allowing Gregory to proceed into a nearby air vent, which should lead him further into the utility hallway. Gregory then makes his way through the vent, before being hunted again by the wind-up clockwork toy from earlier, although Gregory manages to outrun it again, arriving in a new area. Gregory then sees an entrance and decides to go through it, arriving in a warehouse containing endoskeletons, the innards of the Glamrock animatronics, as Gregory assumes that thing that was hunting him earlier must have been one of those Glamrock endoskeletons. Gregory then makes his way through the hallway, as this doesn't really change from the canon timeline, due to Roxy being out of commission, with Gregory eventually arriving at a security office, taking the security badge from it as he's surrounded by multiple Glamrock endoskeletons as they start chasing him. So Gregory decides to make a beeline for the exit of the warehouse, arriving back at the air vent that brought him there in the first place, and seeing no other option of escape, climbs back inside of it. And after Gregory has another encounter with the wind-up toy, Gregory arrives back where he started, as he heads off to parts and service to rescue Roxy. A few minutes pass, with the brown-haired boy arriving at parts and service, as he sees Vanessa interrogating Roxy, as Vanessa then says that if she's involved with this, she's scrap, and to hang out down here until they can put her casing on a new endo, as the blonde woman leaves to go look for Gregory. After all this, Gregory walks in and finds Roxy, with the wolf saying, "Gregory, I'm so glad you are here and alive," before telling Gregory to use the console to let her out. Gregory does so, opening up the cylinder, as Roxy then asks Gregory if he can reattach her head, with the brown-haired boy saying that it looks complicated, as Roxy tells Gregory to reconnect the wires and to be careful, as she isn't quite herself at the moment. From here, events line up with canon, as Gregory manages to reattach Roxy's head, with the pair leaving the protective cylinder. Afterwards, Gregory then asks Roxy if there are any ways to stop the other bots from hunting him, as Roxy points out that bright lights in the eyes can cause them to briefly malfunction, mentioning the Phaser Blaster that Gregory could win in Phaser Blast, and that faz cams are often confiscated in Monty Golf, although they would need a party pass to acquire one of those items. Roxy then says that Chica usually gives out party passes for birthdays, so they could check her green room for one. Afterwards, the two friends then head out of parts and service using one of the service elevators, although Roxy points out that they're all out of order except for Freddy's. In canon, they are all out of order except for Roxy's. Since Roxy and Freddy swap roles, I felt like swapping their service elevators made sense. Before they head into the service elevator, Gregory sees a set of posters regarding special parts for Chica, Monty, and Freddy, saying that they could upgrade Roxy. But Roxy then shoots this down, as those parts belong to her friends, and she'd never want to hurt them. Gregory then says that all they've been doing all night is trying to hurt him. Roxy then says that there must be an explanation for this, as they would never hurt a guest. It goes against their programming. Gregory then points out that he's here after hours and that she said he wasn't in the customer database, so they probably assumed he was an intruder. After this, the two friends then head down the hall to Freddy's service elevator, hopping in and after a few minutes, arriving outside Freddy's green room in Rockstar R. Roxy then tells Gregory to hop into the air vent and head into Chica's green room, and that she will meet him outside Chica's green room after the hourly recharge. Gregory then climbs into the air vent, with this playing out like canon, with the brown-haired boy having another encounter with the wind-up toy as Gregory jumps into Chica's green room from the air vent, as Gregory finds a prize box from Chica's mirror, with Gregory opening it up, finding the party pass that Roxy told him about. But just then, the lights go out as Roxy yells at Gregory through his fast watch, telling him to hurry to the recharge station before the daycare attendant gets him, with the brown-haired boy outside Chica's green room into her recharge station. And that's where we'll leave things off for right now. So, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And also, let me know whether you think Gregory is going to Phaser Blast or Monty Golf. And before I sign off for today, I'd like to thank our patrons. We have Raven Sage, Wayne Singleton, Butter Miller, and Yenziel Shiverez. And with that said, I'll get on out of here. Peace!